on our first celebratory episode back, I got this 4-scooper of aminos that I'm going to slam.
Oh, dog.
And then we got these fucking mimosas that we're going to drink. Especially in times like this, it is critically important for you guys to think logically and think hard and reasonably about what you're consuming. Well, the world we're living in is fucking weird, you know? So there's all kinds of questions to try and understand what the reality is of the situation that we're in, you know?
That's the most frustrating part.
This is America, and don't ever forget that. Oh, shit, I'm going on. Oh.
We're live.
We're out here. We're doing it. Salt of the Streets pre-show live, episode 85. My name is Donovan. This is Colin. This is Chad. We're fucking out here. We're back in person, of a reasonable distance away from each other, and don't really give a shit. We're doing good. We're doing good out here. We all feel healthy. We're all good. Hope everyone else here is feeling healthy. I want to thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. Is that what I usually say? I don't even remember.
Pretty much.
It's been so long. I mean,
for a while there, we were doing that welcome back, everybody, 3 different times, or thank you for joining us 3 different times.
That's what it is. I couldn't remember what it was that I was saying more, like 3 times. It's been too long.
It's been way too long.
So today, on our first celebratory episode back, I got this 4-scooper of aminos that I'm going to slam.
Oh, dog.
And then we got these fucking mimosas that we're going to drink. And
some Natty Light seltzers.
This jar just smells
what
like
flavor of aminos you got in there?
It is peach lemonade. Do you want to give it a sip?
I'm not going to say no to some aminos.
Move on! Remember when we were doing
I always
that?
say Corona. Nowadays, you're racist if you say Wuhan.
Do you remember when we were doing that though? I was thinking about that just the other day. Delicious, right?
So this is nothing like the grape.
Do you want a sip of this?
You should.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of pre-workout.
Well, you love that. What are those energy drinks? The Bangs. Right.
I like all of them. Yeah,
Bangs are loaded with aminos.
Ooh, that's bomb. Delicious, right?
Yeah. Super
fucking
good.
Max
Bangs
Nutrition.
got BCAAs and then Cock 10, whatever the fuck that is.
Whoa.
Cock 10, bro.
10 cocks?
CoQ.
Yeah,
it's like CoQ10 or something like that.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay, it's not... Okay.
Super
all right.
good for you.
Okay.
It's not a 10-inch cock, Don. No. It's mine out of the gun.
Damn, it's probably I was thinking the other day when I was at work, like, just when this first started, that it was, like... just really funny, like Wuhan all the time, and not that I'm like, I can't say that anymore, it's not funny, but like I haven't said that in a long time because for a minute, like it wasn't really funny, and but I just remember how different it was when this first started.
So what about that Wuhan didn't make it funny anymore?
I don't know,
because everybody took the joy out.
Maybe because it's not like 10 people dead, it's like whatever, at minimum 35,000, at maximum 80, whatever it is now, there's some question about, and I'm not questioning anyone's numbers, I'm just, so as to be fair,
just out of respect.
Yeah, maybe just numbers. I don't, because even now saying it, I'm like, no, it's still funny. Like, it's not lost any of its luster. I guess there was just a short time. I'm not sure.
Well, Wuhan's been popping off again recently.
I saw that. Yeah, that they're gonna lock down all their shit again, right? They're gonna quarantine them off because they're lying ass motherfuckers. Yeah. So I'm sure I wrote something about that down. Yeah, new cases in Wuhan. One guy who was like an old guy who didn't. I'm pretty sure he was maybe was asymptomatic or some shit like that for a while, or just was sick and didn't think it was a big deal. And then he got really sick. Off
and on for like 3 months.
Yeah. So he never got tested or anything. And then he finally got really sick and then got everyone in his house sick. And they were all asymptomatic until he got tested. And then they got tested. And they're like, oh, fuck. Now we have a bunch more people with so who knows how many of those people are going to die, how many of them are going to get seriously sick, because it was like I think it was 6 people altogether. The one dude was super sick, and then the other 5 people were walking around, no fucking idea, you know, that they're even,
just kind of like everywhere else.
When you heard about that prison that got tested.
Which one? Oh, there's a couple of them, I know. I've heard some insane prison numbers.
Like 98% of the prison tested positive, and every single one is asymptomatic.
Yeah.
Except for one thought he had seasonal allergies.
Well, and that's just like the study they did in LA or whatever, you know, that they tested 4,000 people or whatever, and some 65% of them had the antibodies for having had the virus, and they're like, we all feel perfectly fine.
Yep.
And we are not, just to be fair. You know, we're not minimizing anybody's fears, anybody's anything, you know, but there's all kinds of question now about, well, the world we're living in is fucking weird, you know, so there's all kinds of questions to try and understand what the reality is of the situation that we're in, you know?
And that's the most frustrating part.
Yeah.
So, like, considering this is the pre-show, we'll just say there will be a lot of this kind of talk coming in the main episode.
Some general,
I don't want to get too
specifics
tied down.
Yeah,
to
this
it
guy
now,
makes
but-
horseshoes, so we're going to talk about that. That's what you do, right? Make horseshoes?
Yeah.
And shoot horses, treat horse.
All that shit.
Yeah, he's
Kinda
just
He's a farrier,
dude.
He's a farrier. That's because before I knew this guy, I had no idea that
Right?
even was a fucking word. So
most people don't.
Yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit about that because have you ever seen the show Forged in Fire?
Once. And a
Once.
farrier won the episode.
Word. And every time there's been someone on there who's a farrier, the judges are like, oh, yeah, it's a farrier swing. You know, they're like, they identified, they're very, then they seem to be good at that shit. So
I watched one episode of that because so many people have been talking about it.
Bro.
And it was like an all-star, winners from past shows came in, and there was this older
Tournament
guy who
of
was
Champions.
a farrier, and he was, it broke my heart when he left. Before I got really, really angry that I can't watch the show anymore because I can't stand this 23-minute long format of this forced bullshit that I know is taking these people hours and hours and hours to do, and it's so compressed it makes it not enjoyable.
But
for
it's
me.
to find out who's the best at it.
According to the producers, yes.
No. According to those three people who are all, you know, trained.
I will
the one guy is a master smith. Like, there's one dude's a master smith.
Mm-hmm.
One of the other judges, when the master smith is not on there, is a double champion of Forged in Fire. He's like a champion's champion. And then one of the dudes is a historical blades expert. And so he is, you know, has mad degrees in blades.
That's dope.
Older than balls, and then the other guy's like Asian and into martial arts and hurt for half the seasons on Hulu. But Doug Marcaida, and he always goes, "It will kill." That guy every time, and then later in the seasons, the subtitles change the spelling. They don't say "kill"; it's Keal when he says that. Yeah, it's like it's a whole deal. He probably has fucking shirts that say "It will kill." I'm sure that I would bet money on it that he has shirts.
And I don't want to take away from
Don't
how
fucking
cool
shit
the
on my
is.
show, Colin.
That's the first television show I've watched in a long time, and it's so smashed together. It was like by the time the episode was over, I was like, but what? I need at least another hour of this. I'm not invested in any of this.
Watch more episodes, bro. One of those seasons
true.
has like 60 episodes in it. So
And they're on Hulu, so it's not like they're hard to find.
Yeah, we started watching it because when Casey watched our house when Jordan was having Dax, the TV was on the History Channel when we got back, and we were so fucking tired we didn't change the channel, and it was on Forged in Fire for like 3 days. So we watched it and we were like, this shit's actually pretty fucking cool. And then it came on Hulu, and I was like, oh, I'm all about this. And we watched all 4 seasons of that shit, smashed it out. It's dope, bro. It's fucking cool.
So we're getting History Channel's got a Forged in Fire blacksmithing competition show. Is Ancient Aliens still rolling strong on
I'm
History
sure
Channel?
it is. I'm sure.
I love what the History Channel has turned
Something
into.
that started as
It's
like
so
a
weird.
one-off special turned into 900 fucking seasons of like ancient astronaut theorists predict, you know? That's ancient astronaut theorists. Like,
Right.
who the fuck is that? Giorgio Tsoukalos with his crazy fucking hair? Like, come on, dude. I like that guy, though. He was on Joe Rogan once, and that was a great episode.
I
And
feel like
I'd
I
like
remember that one.
I'd like for him to be back, you know?
Big crazy hair.
Oh, yeah.
Did we talk about the aliens last time?
The
Last
alien
show?
videos? I don't know that the alien videos had come out when we...
Yeah, I don't remember.
Either
We
way...
had talked about them, I think, when they were on when they had the dude from on Rogan,
Yeah.
because it's the same
The
videos
Navy
and
pilot,
stuff, right?
exactly, yeah.
And then
But
when all
the
that
White House
news
just
dropped,
confirmed it now.
yeah,
They
when
got
you think
leaked
about aliens,
10 years ago, but
Yeah.
if you believed it then, you were a conspiracy theorist.
yeah,
Right. And now no one even gives a shit.
Yeah.
The United States government is, I mean, there's memes all over the place, you know, but like the United States government legitimately has acknowledged the existence of, you know, extraterrestrial life forms, and people just don't even fucking care. Like, they literally just don't fucking care. Like, there's people that's like, what are you even talking about? You know?
Yep.
I know. 2 years ago, if the government said aliens existed, everyone would have shit their pants, and that would have been the run on guns. Would have been because we were scared aliens were coming. But now because it's already happened, we're like, oh fuck it,
whatever.
Yeah, our guns are coming in the mail, so we're picking them up in 2 months because there's so many goddamn people buying guns.
Well, I like the way when you look at how like they put out that news release, because it was just a couple little newspapers that reported it. It was just like the DOD has declassified these videos and now they're out there. And it's not like they directly acknowledge the existence of extraterrestrial life form. They just say, hey, this is something that we can't identify. We have no idea what it is, but we know that no known technology that humankind has created can do things like that. Yeah. So we're not saying, but we're just saying. And nobody gives a shit.
After that, those came out, I rewatched the Bob Lazar documentary on Netflix. You know what I'm talking about? And then rewatched his Joe Rogan.
Have you seen that?
Started it.
Oh, okay.
Might have passed out.
So I rewatched those, and then there's a part when he's talking about these machines that they use to get into the secure area that was like measured the lengths of the bones in your fingers or something. And eventually the guy making the documentary finds a picture of one of these machines. And so Bob Lazar's like, holy shit, I can't believe that you actually found this. Like, I never thought that anyone would find this. Like, I thought it would, gone forever. And then, and I don't know if you noticed this, and it's totally okay if you didn't. Probably just because I just watched it. When I was watching Outbreak, right? Because I watched Outbreak, after I watched Bob Lazar. So,
Outbreak.
Watching Outbreak.
Watch that fucking movie.
Excellent fucking movie. Morgan Freeman. Dustin Hoffman's in that fucking movie. Yeah. Cuba Gooding Jr.'s in that fucking movie.
Yes. So
great
many.
movie. Yeah.
Dr. McDreamy.
Kevin Spacey. Yep. Patrick Dempsey. Exactly.
Is that McDreamy or McSteamy?
That's McDreamy, right?
Okay.
Patrick Dempsey's McDreamy?
McDreamy, yes.
Yeah, McSteamy was the plastic surgeon, right? What was that guy's name?
That was Mark.
Mark Sloan. I've told you before, once that guy was dead, him and Asian doctor, once they were gone, can't do it anymore. So Outbreak, right? So I'm watching Outbreak, and they're going into all of these level 4 biological facilities to do all this shit. The hand scanners that they use in that movie are eerily similar in resemblance to the ones that Bob Lazar talked about in, that he used in real life in the 80s to get into these facilities. And so I'm like, how the fuck?
Yeah, I need to rewatch that.
Yeah, check it out. Exactly. You just go through the documentary and just find that part and just look at the picture of the thing that he's talking about and then watch Outbreak again. And
I can remember the hand scanner from the movie. I just don't remember from the documentary. So some of
them are up here, but there's ones they set their hands in. And the ones that they set their hands in, those are the ones that they have like little things sticking up out of them, just like the thing of Bob Lazar. Should peep it. It's fucking weird. Yeah, so it's just a weird Hollywood thing, right?
And that movie was made in the 90s?
Outbreak? Probably early 90s, I'm going to say on Outbreak, yeah.
And they're showing that technology.
Exactly.
It's like 2001.
Very interesting. This is what I was going to talk about, because let me get some of this tropical punch here.
Tropical. Serving up mimosas for the
celebrate.
First cast in the studio.
Yeah. So... Speaking of TV, right? Jordan and I were watching Hoarders the other day, and so we're watching Hoarders.
I love that you give me shit about my movies.
Hoarders that seems like it's a totally legitimate TV show to watch.
All the great British bacon
Don't
show.
even. Do not even. That show is fucking have you watched it? Have you watched the Great British Baking Show?
No, I'm going to sit here and judge you without knowing what I'm talking about.
Have you watched the Great British Baking Show?
I'll admit I have not, but I've heard nothing but good about it.
It is a fucking great show. I'm telling you.
But see, if I watch it and I'll learn that it's a good show, I can't give people shit for watching it.
It's awesome.
So where's the fun for me?
That's all right. Well, you're going to find that you're on the wrong end of this. When other people hear about this, when we get the comments, they're going to say, Colin, you got me fucked up. Great British Baking Show's the shit.
Doesn't hold a candle to the old Japanese Iron Chef.
That Iron Chef
was
is
the
pretty
original,
good.
man.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, so I'm very cautious about getting into these cooking shows because I've told you this before. When Carolina's cousin came to stay with us, she made me watch one episode of that Master Chef Junior. And before I knew it, 2 weeks had gone by, and I had done nothing but watch Master Chef Junior.
Hey, Gordon Ramsay's so sweet on that show.
He is.
Have you ever
He's such a
seen
sweetheart.
24 Hours to Hell and Back?
No.
So that's his new show that he does, right?
Oh,
and
shit.
so it's all, as per the title, it's all done in one day. So he shows up, and now he's so well known, and it's totally gimmicky, but it's really awesome. So
I like his gimmick.
Yeah.
It's fun.
So he dresses up in disguise because people know what he looks like now, you know? He, like, can't really go anywhere without being recognized, so he dresses up in disguise to go and eat at the restaurants, or he'll pretend to be a fucking cameraman or some shit like that, you know? So they send in a camera crew so that they know that they're being filmed for some type of show, and then he comes in dressed up and eats, like on the DL, you know? Or he'll be a cameraman. And so they record all the nasty shit, and then he takes his disguise off in the middle of his meal after he's eaten everything, and he's like, all right, now everybody go outside. And he has this big fucking screen, and he plays all this disgusting, horrible footage that he's recorded over the last, like, week or so. And then...
Caught with your pants down.
And then the clock starts, and they have 24 hours before they relaunch the entire restaurant, and so nobody sleeps. Like, they don't go home, they don't sleep, they don't do shit. And so the cooks, he has this fucking semi-truck with a kitchen on it and all this shit. And so the cooks are on the truck being taught by his chefs that he brings with it. It's a whole fucking deal. It's crazy.
That's wild.
It's crazy.
It's like, how can we compress all the other Kitchen Impossible shows together?
It's, yeah.
Just into one 24-hour
It sounds
shit
so
show.
fucking stupid, and when I talk about it, I'm like, this is fucking stupid. But I
it's
watched
good
every
TV.
single goddamn episode of it on the internet. Yeah. So hoarders, right? This.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
yes,
Go ahead,
no,
and then we'll.
You go with your hoarder
Okay,
story.
so it's quick, right? Because it's just an observation I made about the American culture, right?
Oh, God.
So I feel like America is really disgusting, right? Because and not that you can really compare a first world and a third world country, but we exist in a world where there are people who are just trying to find food every day, and America is so plentiful with not just items, but literally trash.
Mm-hmm.
You have people who their brains have developed mental disorders that they want to have too much stuff. Like, people are struggling to own anything at all.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, I want to own too much stuff. I don't want to get rid of fucking anything. So much shit that I want to kill the cats in my house because they get stuck under piles of shit.
Or kill myself under an avalanche of 50-year-old newspapers.
And when people want to throw my things out, I'm just going to melt the fuck down. I told you about the one lady who screamed at her husband, Rome wasn't built in a day, and I'm fucking keeping it. Like, he's trying to throw shit away. He has diabetes, and so he has to wear, like, long pants and socks in his house all the time because if he gets a cut, he could just bleed out and die or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So he's telling his wife, he's like, it's fucking, like, it's dangerous for me to live in this house. And she's like, I'm doing it. Like, I'm working on it. He's like, we did nothing today. Like, we threw away 5 things. And she screams, she says, Rome wasn't built in a day and I'm fucking keeping it. Like, oh my God. Like, this is
best tagline ever.
Oh, dude.
Throw
Yeah,
that
it's
shit
crazy.
on a shirt.
It's crazy. And I just was, just the right amount of stoned and watching this, and I'm just like, I can't believe that this is where we live. That people are like, no, I want all of this stuff, and I want more stuff, and I'm willing to let someone condemn my fucking home because I want to own everything. They're damaged. They have a mental disorder. I'm not saying they don't. But I don't think that shit's very prevalent in fucking Africa.
No.
I don't think that there's that many people with hoarding disorders in fucking Africa,
First world problems.
Weird.
You can't be a hoarder in Africa.
Totally. And I acknowledge you can't totally compare them, but just a strange world to live in,
It is.
People are willing to die because they want to have trash in their home,
And I think that stark correlation between, like, how we fucking live and operate in America will, even when you look at it from that hoarder mentality compared to, like, the normal citizen.
Yeah.
I think that kind of correlation is going to be very, very common. It's going to be a very common theme in everything we talk about in today's show. Considering the stark divide between individuals and in different states and people within those states compared to the federal government and our response to all this fucking insanity that's going on.
Insanity.
Yeah. But, like, if you really look at it on, like, a deep societal level, it's pretty much everywhere you look, if you look at it the right way. You go, oh, I get it. There's, we've talked about class systems and shit in our society before, and they've become a hell of a lot more clear over the last, couple months.
Yeah.
And, it's the ability for somebody in America to become a hoarder that probably doesn't exist in most of the rest of the world. Maybe some other ones, like other industrialized nations maybe, but, like, we're disgusting, like you said.
Well, and, like, watching that show, it's not like they're all, like, like what you call, like, 1%ers, that, like, just have just inordinate amounts of money that they have to waste on shit. Like, a lot of these people are going into debt because they are just buying shit all the time, you know? So you don't even have to be of means necessarily to do that, you know?
I don't feel like most hoarders are well-off people.
No.
Right?
A lot of them live in really shitty houses, partially because of their own hoarding.
Yeah, I know.
Weird.
We know somebody that you could probably classify that. Okay, after the cast. After the pre-show, I'll tell you who it is. And you'll be like, oh yeah, 100%. It's one of those where, you know, you can walk into somebody's house and go, I don't feel like I want to be here. If I get a cut somewhere in this house, I might get sepsis and die.
Yeah.
Some of those, I know a couple of those people.
Shit really be like that sometimes.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I'm really stuck trying to figure out who that is now.
It's going to bother him.
I'll tell you after the pre-show and you'll get it. So.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. We can probably get out of here as far as the pre-show goes and head into the real show. You know, don't really have, unless there's anything else you want to drop.
I will say, just randomly, because I haven't pre-staged you at all for this. What is like the most surprising thing that you've found as like an entertainment haven over the period of this lockdown period that we've been in, that neither of us have really been that much affected by? But, I mean, we got a hell of a lot more time on our hands now because we just can't go out any other places. So,
yeah.
What is the one thing that is surprising to you the most that you've been really enjoying?
What am I watching?
Not even necessarily watching. Maybe just something that you're doing at the house.
Like an activity that I'm enjoying?
That was only made possible, really, through having a little bit of this extra time.
I've had far more time to just do things at my house that have been building.
You've been building up a fucking storm.
List. Yeah, I've had a list building up for a long time.
That honey-do list never gets shorter.
Doing that, I think. No, this is it. So the thing that this has provided me that I didn't have before is I've had way more time to spend with my kid, and not like just time, but like time in the morning that I don't usually get, you know, even on days like on Fridays where I'm just working for 4 hours, I'm working for 4 hours in the morning, you know, and on Sundays I'm at work when he wakes up. So there's only one day a week normally in a regular time that I get to get up with him, or like I get up before him anyway, but I get to go and get him, change him in the morning, put him in clothes and stuff like that, and like have that few minutes before he goes and does something else, you know? And I've had now, 3 days a week for 9 weeks now that I've had that ability, which, yesterday he irritated me to no end, but I still appreciate having that time with him that I didn't have before,
Because if you weren't there during that time beforehand to get irritated, it's a good thing that you have time to get irritated.
Yeah, and right. I mean, Jordan does an excellent job of she sends me videos and pictures of him all the time throughout the day, every day. So I get all kinds of videos of him in the morning and stuff, but it's different than like, 'cause you go in there and you leave him for like 20 minutes to kick it and do whatever he wants in his bed. And then, he hears you open that first door. And so he starts talking to you as soon as you even come into the laundry room. So by the time you're opening his door, he's looking around like waiting for you to peek around. And then he fucking sits in there and plays with his binkies for a little bit. And the dog comes in, he fucking talks to the dog. It's like a whole, whole deal.
His version of we wake up and then we surf our phones for 30 minutes before getting up.
Yeah. And he's kicking in, you change him and then he helps, like he puts all of his stuff away now, he puts all of his binkies in a bed and like anything that he's taken out, he puts back and then he walks out.
How is your kid so fucking smart?
Throws his fucking diaper away, bro, and then he'll come out, grab the bowls for the cat food, carry him into the bathroom for you.
He throws his own diaper away?
Yeah. Here you go, bro. Throw that away. Take it to the trash. Yeah.
Ron and Patrick really did you guys a favor.
Genius, bro. He's a fucking genius, dog.
The salmon eggs, right?
Yeah.
I think that's really because that was the big thing on your diet when you were pregnant that really boosted that. What was it? The omegas?
The omega-3, yeah, right. But it also has has a phosphate attached to it. It's a phospholipid when it's in the...
And that's a better receptor.
Yeah. It gets into the baby's brain better. Like 7 times better into the brain.
I mean, I know people that, roughly have had kids about the same-ish time, and they're nowhere near Dax on a developmental level yet.
Yeah, I mean, he also...
wild.
He speaks, like a child, but he can communicate with you verbally, and he also knows... 20 different signs probably, so he can also communicate with you through sign language and tell you what he wants, if he's hungry or tired, or he'd like sleep is this, so like put one hand up till he's tired. If he's super tired, double sleepy, bro, throw up both hands.
Double sleepy.
Like, oh shit, you're double sleepy? Like, okay, it's real. Yeah, we know. Like, it's okay, it's time to go to bed. Yeah. So he'll tell you if he wants to wash his hands, if he wants to anything. He'll tell you what he wants. As long as he's not super tired. If he's tired, he'll just throw fucking signs at you to stay awake, get something.
I'm confused.
Yeah, stimulation, right. But as long as he's of coherent, sound mind and body, he's totally able to communicate effectively. Like, he's, as long as he's had enough sleep, he's able to entertain himself. He'll
the
dance.
biggest thing was like when we got him on mic a little bit during our distance cast, it appeared as if like he was able to pick up on a social cue of when to speak.
Yeah.
Not so much what to say, but like when to say something.
Right.
He was like, it's like you ask him something and then he answers back.
Very sociable. Very sociable.
That's wild to me. I don't know.
Shy for like a minute when he meets new people or goes somewhere new, and then it's just...
You've never met my godson, have you?
The one time at Jake's house...
Caroline's birthday.
That's right.
Yeah, yes. I couldn't remember what it was for. There was that short time we were there at his house like fucking 10 times in like 3 months.
That's right.
Yeah, for all those different things.
And then nobody could go anywhere.
Right.
So what about you, Chad? What is something that your life hasn't really changed much at all?
No, not really.
Because you've been a quote unquote essential worker this entire time. Because you're technically involved.
Because there's 7 people that do
animal
what you
care,
do.
right?
Yeah, I can't imagine there's that many people.
Yeah.
Work actually picked up more when the quarantine hit.
So basically, the one thing you've been able to enjoy is our Battlefield 5 time.
That's pretty much it.
Because I had more time. And then all of a sudden it was like, well, hey, let's play some video games.
Less time that I was able to see the old lady because her sister had a newborn. And
oh, yeah.
Albeit I have different views on the risks for a newborn. It's their child, so I'm going to listen to them.
Yeah.
And do the quarantine they want me to do before I see the baby.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really get to see him other than through a window once until he was about 5-6 weeks old.
Yeah.
Dang.
Jordan's sister had a baby too, not long before all this happened. So yeah, we saw her once before all this happened. And
what's her name?
Gracie.
Yeah.
Oh. And then
Gracie
several,
and Kev.
yeah. And then several weeks went by, probably 6 weeks before we saw them again. And it was like over the fence, like they just came and we like saw them over the fence, and then another 2 weeks before we actually like held her again and like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's
wild.
Yeah.
Well, on that note. Anyway,
wait, you didn't say
what I've been doing?
Yeah.
I was trying to avoid myself. No, I've just... we had mentioned it before. I had my long list of quarantine movies that I've just been playing on the background.
What's your favorite one that you watched of all that whole list? And then we can go. You tell me what your favorite one was. Because that's what I wrote down. One of the things I was going to ask you.
The favorite one I watched was... perfect. It's impossible to pick. I will say...
Give me 2 or 3.
2 or 3 of the ones, like Outbreak, I was extremely...
Fucking great movie.
I'd never seen it,
Fucked up and scary. Great movie.
Jojo Rabbit was great.
Really?
There's a newer one that had come out. It's about this little Hitler youth kid. The director, what was the...
Is it real life or cartoon?
It's real life movie.
Oh, it's just
it's a like a satire movie about Nazism, and like this. It follows this little kid whose head is like all twisted up with Nazi youth type stuff. But his mom, ScarJo, by the way, is harboring a Jewish girl in their house, and then he kind of discovers, and then the two of them become friends, and really kind of brings him around. It he's got an imaginary friend.
Oh, well, let's watch that later.
It's a great movie. That, and then The Death of Stalin is another satirical one. And fuck, man, it is full of just this dry Soviet humor. And I loved every second of it. It's so good.
You're a weird, dry humor guy.
I am. But yeah, I think those are probably some of the top 3 that I was most surprised about.
Yeah.
On the topic of movies, if you haven't seen it yet, old David Spade and the old Happy Madison came out with a classic comedy movie again.
Really?
Like the old Adam Sandler movies.
Really?
It's got all the old cast minus Adam Sandler.
What is it called?
The Wrong Missy.
The Wrong Missy.
Just came out on Netflix.
Oh, it's on Netflix.
Word.
All right. It's funny as shit.
I trust Happy Madison.
Classic Happy Madison.
I like that shit.
There it is.
All right.
Happy Madison plug on the way out of the pre-show.
Yep. So there you go. We're out of here. Last thing that I want to remind everyone, it's really, really quick. It's super quick. It's a leaving note. I just want to remind everyone to think critically and logically. Ensure that you are making up your own mind based off of the best information that you can find, even if it's not us. That's not a selling point for us or for me or for Chad or for anyone. We do our best to provide that information so you can make up your own mind. Our intent is never to sway your opinion or to get you to try and think the same that we do. We're going to express our opinions because it's our show and that's what we're doing. And that's why we have people like Chad on so they can express their opinions. But especially in times like this, it is critically important for you guys to think logically and think hard and reasonably about what you're consuming and whether or not it makes sense. Remember where we live and remember who you are and what you think is right. And this is America and don't ever forget that. Yeah, I just want to thank you guys again for joining us. We're fucking out here. You can find us on our social media. I am at Salt of the Street on Twitter and at alpaca_Donovan on Instagram. He's at Big Bird Offie on both those things. Do you want to shout any or you don't have to if you don't want to? It's up to you.
I put a picture up maybe every 6 months.
That's right.
We're going to tag him in all that shit anyway. So Facebook, Salt of the Street, saltofthestreets.com. YouTube is Salt of the Streets. Colin is banging the fucking videos out.
Working.
Another one, Tink Tink, Colin banging the videos out. Proud of him. Proud of Big Boy over here. With that, thank you everyone. Look out for this new episode on Monday.
Cheers.
Out here.